Yeah. So I guess the podcast is slowly dying then. The views are getting real small.
I'm assuming so. But I don't know. Is that because it's the international break? Is that because we didn't post it? Who knows?
Yeah.
We've been near death before and somehow survived, so we'll see how the next few go.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know what we're doing differently or what we're doing wrong. I don't know what we were ever doing right though. I don't know how we ever got to
I haven't changed anything.
I don't know where we lost this, but we'll never know.
Yeah.
What about this? What if Ireland qualify from the group? You get the certified lover boy haircut.
Oh, I'll do that.
Yeah, if we qualify,
there is as much chance. Yeah, 100%.
Sweet, but that has to be the intro now. That has to be recorded and put out there because no one believes me otherwise. It'll burn the tapes. Speaking of which, that's a good title for the episode. How about this? Certified lover boys in green.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything, but it might get us more views.
Yeah. Well, now we've done the intro. Now we can put that as the title. It's very clever.
This is the one where we save the pod.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will. We're back with another international episode. This episode is sponsored by the Three Jolly Pigeons. Heading in there to Seamus McCormick and say the No Nonsense boys sent you.
Yeah, he'll say who.
He'll give you a clip around the ear for free. How about that? No, we were there the weekend. People were telling me, Will, that was the drunkest I'd ever seen you. But I don't remember you at all. So
who was the real winner?
Me? Yeah. I don't remember much of anything. So, it was a good weekend, though. We watched, I think, a third of the Azerbaijan game in the pub. And,
well, any memories I had of the Azerbaijan game, I think were sacrificed as the night went on by my brain to keep me alive. So,
yeah.
I don't know how much. It's very foggy.
Well, I did watch the highlights of it.
Mm.
Well, I mean, and that used his word loosely.
Yeah.
And I listened. I mean, what I do every week is I listen to other podcasts and I kind of take their ideas and say it in a way that I can understand. Just dumb it down for myself, and then this is kind of like a one-stop shop. If you don't want to listen to Off the Ball and all these other podcasts for hours, I will listen to them for you, and then I will repeat them in a space of an hour.
Yeah, and then you dumb that down to your podcast, and it trickles. Yeah. It's a trickle-down football economy.
Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme of other footballing podcasts. I mean, most of our listeners are other podcasts, I'm pretty sure.
I like to think, like 7 podcasts down, it's just like a guy being like, Ronaldo, good, Messi, good. It's just trickled down so much.
For babies. They're playing like other podcasts in fucking, I don't know. Where do babies go? I mean, do babies even go to play school anymore? Are they allowed? What have babies been doing for the last 2 years? I guess listen to podcasts, but like,
what's
where?
What's the deal with babies?
Today is Thursday. This is how we still are. This is how we should probably stop doing all weekenders from now on because we can't do it.
No,
Look at us. We've been going for hours in this podcast. This is like the sixth effort at doing this episode. No, we're talking about the Azerbaijan game. Yeah, fuck, I don't know, man. Apparently, what happened was we did to Azerbaijan what Portugal did to us, which is underestimated them.
Yep.
and I saw the lineup, and it was like we played Portugal, and like we were saying, their lineup was very attacking. It was like, just fucking who cares? Get them all out there. They were better than them. We'll just beat them. And then we caught them in the hop and lost 2-1. And then we went out to Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan went to us rather. And we said, just play Troy Parrott, Aaron Connolly, and Adamir up front. Just beat them. Just get goals, beat them. You know. Look, Aaron Connolly had one bad game. All right. That was it. One bad game. You're not going to drop him off the squad. He wouldn't do that till the next game because he had 2 bad games in a row.
And then you're out.
Either.
Yeah.
He was terrible. Adamida, had a good game against Portugal, but Troy Parrott, by all accounts, is kind of best as a number 10. So you play him out wide, and he's got to be tracking back and putting in crosses. I mean, that's not really his game. You should have had Callum Robson out there. He was putting in some very good crosses when he came on.
Yep.
But like, essentially, we kind of got it wrong a bit against Azerbaijan. Like, they scored first, which always kills the game because they sat back then, and we're not that good of a team either.
No,
like we're taking the piss out of Portugal saying they're not good, they couldn't break us down. Well, we're no good either, and we couldn't break Azerbaijan down. They scored first, and they were hanging on.
They scored a screamer as well.
Yeah, it was a really good goal. I mean, same as our goal against Portugal. It was a really good goal, and then we weren't expecting it, and then they sat back, and like we had our XG was off the charts. Don't get me started on the XG here. And we eventually got one back. Our version of Ronaldo, Shane Duffy.
Yeah, same thing.
He headed one back. He was unable to get a second one like Ronaldo. So we drew that game. So I mean, like I said, we're not going to bullshit you like we pretty much do every other single episode. This one's different because we didn't even watch the highlights. Well, I did, but you can't really get a sense of the game.
Yeah.
What was I saying? No, look, we lost Azerbaijan, and we put out the wrong team, from what I gather.
And it was our best result of the qualifying so far. I think wasn't that our first point, or was it? Did we win before
at that point? It was our first point. Yes, Will. Yeah,
that's fucking.
The problem was that we thought we were going to go out there, we're going to have attacking football, we're going to have our best attackers out there, and win the game. Hopefully. 2, maybe 3-0, based on the performance against Portugal. We have the players, and we didn't get the first goal. It was it was a screamer, but we were probably a bit. We said, "Go on, if you can score from there, I'll be impressed," and we were very impressed. So once you do that and they score, now the pressure's on you. We didn't really have the answers to break them down.
Oh,
I think Will's frozen. Are you frozen, Will?
Can you hear me? Yeah, hello.
Are you frozen there, Will? Did you freeze?
No. Can you hear me?
Did I freeze?
No.
It says my internet connection is unstable. Hang on, I'm going to plug it in there.
Yeah, go for it, bro. Ahoy.
Right. Where did I go off? Where did I trail off there?
We didn't have the players to break them down, which.
Yeah. So they scored first, and then we kind of panicked a little bit because we thought we were going to get some triangles going and work our way past them, and then they sat back, and then we reverted back to type and okay, right, just fucking lump it in there and hope you can get a head on it.
Which
get the centre backs in there, get all the boys up there, and
why not just do that all the time if it works? I mean,
well, this is the whole thing. This is the whole the culture war of Irish football right now. It's results versus building something for the future.
But I mean, I we've talked about it before, and it is good to be building stuff. But he's not going to be given the time to build that, and it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So why? I mean, I know he's you're trying to get them playing better football, better to watch, Kenny's kids. But just as time goes on, it's like this is going to be over in a year. And then you get a new manager in, and then do you keep going with this, or you're well, it didn't work last time. So I don't know. I just can't see it working out anymore, unfortunately.
But what about this, right? What if, after the Portugal game, we had actually got a draw? What if, Aaron Connolly gets that penalty that he should have gotten?
Yeah.
It's 2-0. We win that game. More than likely, we win that game. At the very worst, we get a draw. But let's just say we win that game.
Yeah.
and we actually get the first goal against Azerbaijan, and then they have to attack, and we get another 2 wins on the bounce.
Yeah.
And like that's not like, oh well, what if my auntie had a ball, like she'd be my uncle. That's not fucking like total opposites. I mean that was very close to happening. I mean that the Portugal game we could have won. Like I say, we said, here, take a shot from there, I bet you won't score, and he did. And then we sat back, and this is the issue. Like, there's no, like playing like, oh no, I only play this one type of football. Like, I'm only interested in the ball and the deck. I don't do crosses. Like there's definitely room for like trying to break a team down and play it well. But then, the last 10 minutes, last 15 minutes, get the ball in there. I mean, Liverpool getting Alisson in the box and getting that header. Like, that wasn't exactly fucking genius football. That's an age-old tactic that never works. But it worked that time because you're trying to win the game. Like, you can play good football and score lots of goals and defend well. But it comes to it, get the big man up there.
Yeah.
I just think, like, you're never going to win a game playing big men up there the whole game. Like, I think Kenny had because obviously every game afterwards, like, so Kenny, is this your last game? Is it over now? Is the experiment over? Can you please stop doing this? Well, like, have you asked FIFA about the 2 goalies again, Kenny?
Have you inquired about the goalies again, Kenny?
Kenny, over here.
Kenny, have you inquired about having 3 goalkeepers this time?
I think he said, like, if you just, I don't know what he said. I think we might be able to clip. I don't know, because I can't really remember. But like, he said something like, you'll only beat the teams you should beat, but you'll never beat the teams you strive to beat. You know what I mean? Which is like, we should beat Azerbaijan, and on a given day we could have beaten Serbia as well. But like, you'll never get to the level of Portugal. You know what I mean? You strive to try and beat Portugal, like, fair and square. Like, maybe not the absolute better players, but like, I think of say when Iceland went in that run, like a bit of it was like shithousery and defending well, but like you have to actually be able to have players you can play as well. And if you don't encourage players like, Wes Hoolahan didn't get a debut till he was fucking 30, 29, because he was too small. Like, he was too small during the era of like Xavi and Iniesta being the best, and Messi being the best players in the world. We were like, nah, Wes is too small.
Yeah.
Fucking Pirlo, like all these like tiny midfielders who were playing, and you're like, no. Like, you can miss kind of opportunities like that because you're thinking, no, it's all about results.
Yeah.
If people are gonna get like attached to, like, it's a cool phrase to say it's a results business. It makes you sound like a cool businessman, but like, really what that phrase is like, I'm talking to you, the reporter. I go, listen, between you and me, I know you watch all the games. I know you know what you're talking about. But the people who really are my employer, the general public, want to know about the results. So it's about me winning and me keep my job. So between you and me, I know this isn't good to look at. I know this isn't good for the future, but it's a results business. As in, my job, relies on winning.
Yeah.
So you can say results business and it's a cool phrase, people get attached to it. But like, really, it just means this is a manager who doesn't care. He's just going to get wins and keep his job.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's room for like playing well and also getting the goalie up or getting Shane Duffy up there to get a header. Like, absolutely, why not? If you're a 6'4" centre back, get the ball in there, but not the whole game. You won't win anything that way.
Yeah. We'll get to it, but in the Serbia game, there was another moment where Serbia nearly scored because of Duffy trying to play it out from the back, or a ball came to him and he missed it. And I think as soon as I saw that, I was like, I feel like this is the moment where the country turns, because it's happened twice in a week. I think if that goal went in, that was it. They were done. But
because then it becomes a pattern.
Yeah,
it becomes like, you got lucky that Bazunu managed to save a penalty for Ronaldo, who doesn't have the best record of penalties. I mean, as good as Ronaldo is, he has missed a few over the years.
Yeah,
but if you do it twice, it's like, come on, like. You're obviously not good enough for this.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of you think of like the best games. I think, oh wow, that was just a joy to watch. Like, that was just like total football. It's like usually like 8 or like 7-0. It's like, one team was way better than the other. Like, it's a lot easier to play, beautiful football when you're better all over the pitch.
Yeah.
Like, it is one of those intangibles. Not really intangibles. It's like, if you want to play really good football, you have to have really good players. And like I say, oh, it's just doing the simple things well. It's like, it's hard to do the simple things well.
Yeah.
If it was as simple as doing the simple things well, then,
we'd be playing. We wouldn't be doing podcasts.
We'd be playing, exactly. So I mean, it's there's a bit of that too. It's like, oh, do we have the players? It's like, some of them are. Some of them are good. Like, it's not a team of absolute superstars. But like, if you just kind of say, look, let's be honest, maybe one or two are good enough, but the rest of you are shite. Yeah. Let's not kid ourselves here. Because like, Iceland is a good example. Like Sigurdsson, who I guess doesn't exist anymore, but when he existed before the incidents, like, he was like by far and away Iceland's best player.
Yeah.
Some of them, I mean, were pretty good. I mean, Gudmundsson for Burnley, he's a solid player, works hard, like a real Burnley player. You can see why Sean Dyche snapped him up.
Yeah.
But like, they could have said, listen, Sigurdsson, I know you play kind of fancy schmancy stuff in the Premier League, but look around, man. There's no one else here. What are we going to do? All of us work the ball to you and you maybe score goals? It's never going to happen. Like, we do have some good players there. Like Adamida, I hope he gets more games from Norwich.
Yeah, same.
I mean, what are they? Second bottom league ahead of Arsenal?
I was thinking that's probably the best for him, is if they're going down, because then it's like, who could we possibly turn to change it? Who have we not tried? And then, like, all he needs is like a goal, and Norwich be like, wow, we've done it. We found the answer.
I mean, it's at that point, like, it's worth a try, Yeah. I'm a Budelli as well, Andrew Budelli, also at Norwich. Now, he's only 19 as a centre back. It's more frowned upon than a 19-year-old striker. Yeah. But like, you look at him and go, listen, I know you're okay, but like, look at fucking look at John Egan there. He plays for Sheffield. Come on, I mean, think.
What are you saying, Gaffer?
No, I just saying, put under pressure. Like, you can't just give up. You can't say we don't have 11 great players, so therefore there's no point. Just lump it up. Come on, we might get to third, and if we're lucky, we'll maybe face another shit team in the playoff, and then maybe if we're lucky, we might get to an easy group. I mean, maybe we might get a win.
It's like mental. That is literally what happened in the Euro qualifications. We were so close to just doing nothing our whole way through. And then we fucked up in the last game.
Like, we were like hoping for someone like Slovakia in a playoff, and we didn't beat them, and they didn't qualify from their group in the Euros. And like, it's just, it'll work. It'll work every now and again, but for most of the time, it'll be, 2002, the last time we go to the World Cup.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. It's like, you can point to many times where like, it's worked before. We've got to Euros before. But like, and people kind of dismiss it, but like, that 2016 team was a really good team.
Yeah, definitely.
Like McLean and Brady and Wes and Glenn Whelan as well. Like, that was one of a really good team, and that's how you get to these tournaments. You have to play well, obviously, but like, you need good players. And I just think it's like, we played that kind of kick and chase or whatever, and maybe we'll get an easy group, maybe we'll qualify to the playoff on the back of really good players as much as anything else. It's like, if you don't try and create kind of a style of play, or at least some kind of ambition to actually go and win games against Azerbaijan and teams like that. Like, I know you lose to Azerbaijan, or you draw at Azerbaijan, you can see the goal. It's like, why don't you just fucking get the ball up? It's like, well, like, we're never going to get past the level we're at if we just continually
that is true.
Aspire to be maybe we're third in the group. Hopefully we're third. I mean, when you looked at that group and you saw Portugal and Serbia, you're like, third at best.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch that game, so I'm kind of just...
I think we're 20 minutes in.
20 minutes in, I didn't even watch that game. But I did watch the Serbia game.
Yes.
And that was a good game. That was, again, Serbia are much better.
I think if nothing else, Gavin Bazunu is going to be Kenny's legacy, I think. If he gets sacked, I mean, what a player to bring up. He was amazing in that game.
Yeah, he was very good. And it's funny because, like, remember the game we played against Serbia in Serbia? And that was the start of Kenny Ball. This was like... Yeah. I was like, oh my God, like, yes, this is what, I get it now. I see the light. Now, again, it was another heroic loss. 3-2. But you remember Alan Brown's goal?
Yeah.
It was like, that's one of the best goals I've seen in years for Ireland. And we played attacking stuff, and we played the with the wing backs, and Serbia. Whoa, wing backs! Whoa, what is this? Euro 2020? That hasn't even happened yet. Whoa, this is such an innovation! And then they went on and won the game.
Yeah.
But they were obviously very good. Mitrovic is banging form, 7 goals in 7 games up into the Ireland game. But yeah, I was thinking back to that Serbia game. I think of like who was playing there. Like, I don't think Egan was playing, was he? Or maybe he was.
Don't think so. I can't remember.
But Egan's been injured for like a lot of the qualifying campaign. Duffy, if you remember back then, was finished.
Yeah.
Washed. He was dying to death in Celtic. It's like, this guy, he had a couple of good seasons, but he's done. He's finished. He's never going to play Premier League football, international football. The goalie situation, like say Kelleher was in goal. Oh, no, it was Travers.
Yeah, and
Travers got lobbed.
He got lobbed from a mile out, and I think just the whole game he looked so nervous.
Yeah, like and that was when we had the Coleman as a centre back, and we had Doherty as one wing back, and then who was who's left back? I forget his name. I think played for Sheffield as well.
What is his name?
But you think back to like if we had the Shane Duffy of now, if we had Coleman and Doherty on the wing backs, Bazunu in goal. I mean, the thing with, like, Bazunu was like the third choice because he was only so young, and Keller had played games for Liverpool.
Yeah,
like it's. I don't look. It's the same for everybody. It's the same time frame for everybody. But like the Portugal team before the Euros, during the Euros, now after is pretty much the same thing. Like they know who they are. Serbia similarly, Tadic is the main guy. Goes through Tadic. Like we are still trying to figure out what the team is, and that was like the old episodes. You said that why even is the team? It's a different team every time, But it's like you say, I don't know. Will he even get the time to? He may just be kind of a footnote, and like he started this team on the right path, and someone else comes in and takes the glory.
Yeah. Did you see what he was saying about he didn't expect to qualify from this group? He's like planning for the next tournament. But I saw a lot of people taking that as in he said, what? He's not trying. Are you serious? I think Brian Kerr was giving him a going over and stuff. So I think he might have accidentally kind of put a foot in the coffin with that. Because just with the general public that like are kind of really casual, all they're going to hear is like, it wasn't arsed on this one. It's not what he means, obviously, but just I think that will change people's opinion of him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those ones where it's like, well, if you say, oh yeah, we can still qualify, it's like, this guy hasn't a clue. He's deluded if he's
exactly.
Partial, like he's deluded, doesn't have a clue. And it's like, well, obviously we're not going to qualify for this. Oh, obviously. Yeah. Obviously you already count us out. Yeah. Wilburn's going to get a haircut if we qualify. You're saying that's going to happen?
You're saying that? You're taking that away from me?
Yeah, so I do think there's people who think Stephen Kenny is not fit for the job. He's not, he hasn't earned it by being a big manager before. Like, international job is like historically kind of a last manager's job. Like, they've done it all everywhere else. Now they're bringing all that experience to manage all these international egos. Yeah. And like Kenny just kind of, skipped the line a bit here because he's the under 21 manager. Who gives a fuck about that, Whereas I think most people are kind of a bit indifferent to the whole thing. It's like, because, if you've been watching or even slightly following international football for the last, like I say, since about 2017, after the Euros, it's really kind of taken a downhill curve. You'd like to think we've hit pretty much bottom at this point. But no one lays that at, I think the average fan doesn't lay that at Stephen Kenny's door.
No, yeah.
No one comes and goes, we were savage there a couple of years ago. It's like, no, everyone knows we weren't, because we didn't get near the World Cup. And even like say, I would appreciate that team who got to the Euros in 2016. But most people think, McLean's useless. It's like, McLean's one of the, one of the better players we even still have, to be fair. Like, he has a few bad games every now and again, but I think most people don't think, Kenny's not the man for this. It's like, well, who do we think is going to come in?
Exactly.
No one's thinking we should be getting fucking Conte in. Like, anyone's like, nah, man, he's not going to come here. So I don't know. I think it's the media are like, yo, this isn't working, and most people are like, we don't care. You know, like that game against Serbia was great. That was partly because there's fans back as well, but like Serbia were all over us, and like we were hanging on by a thread. Yeah, and Bazuna made 11 saves,
something crazy. Yeah,
they would get a shot, and then we would kind of break, and the crowd, go on. Like we're getting hammered here. Like we were so close to being like 3 or 4-0 down. But every time we got the ball and ran towards our goal, it was like this is great. Yeah, you know, because other games we didn't even do that. That's what the bar is like. So I don't know. If Serbia are probably like us now against Azerbaijan, they're probably right now they're like having their podcast going. Oh man, it's a joke. This fucking.
They're like, to be fair, I didn't watch the game, but that does seem bad.
I did hear that our XG against Azerbaijan was like something 2 something, and theirs was like 0.1 or whatever.
Yeah,
and it was the exact opposite for Serbia.
It flipped.
So we were literally Azerbaijan against Serbia. Serbia like, come on, if we can't beat the Republic of Ireland, like, what are we even doing here? You know what I mean? I think their manager came in at the same time as Kenny.
Oh, really?
Stephen Kenny. I think so, yeah. So, you know, this is the thing. It's like, they're definitely having the same conversation that we had about Azerbaijan or Luxembourg. Yeah. It's like, this is a disgrace. Like, are we actually trying to win these things, or are we just happy to be second in the group and maybe qualify? You know, so...
They don't know how good they have it.
Yeah. But yeah, I do know what you mean about people kind of criticizing Kenny and saying it's time to go, which seems to be every game he plays. Time to walk away, Kenny. Time to go. It's like... And the fear, I think, for most people is like, oh, so what? Do you want to go back? Do you want to get Big Sam in? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, it's where do they go next? They haven't really shown.
No one believes.
Yeah, they've never shown that they can plan. That they plan anywhere ahead of right now is apart from the Kenny thing. That was like the first time they're like, McCarthy's in now, but soon it'll be Kenny. Whereas every year before that is like, Trapped-He's gone. Get Martin O'Neill? He's gone. Get McCarthy back.
Yeah. Get McCarthy back was the most. Well, this is why I think people thought, oh, here we're rock bottom now. Like McCarthy hasn't managed in the Premier League, has he, since Sunderland?
Someone like that, yeah.
It's like when we got him back in, it was like, oh god, like the guy who ended Roy Keane's international career, we're bringing him back.
Yeah.
After Roy Keane being the manager, like where are we now? And then it's like, yeah, Stephen Kenny is the under-21 manager. He's coming in. People are like, right. So I guess we're really bad now. So, you know, people are calling like, oh, Kenny's that was depth here. He's not good enough. But you just think, well, if he's trying to play attacking football or trying to, like, you know, Mullinoga or whatever, you just think someone like who will go for the Irish job would be a Big Sam who's going to come in with the pitch going, you want to win games, I'll win your games. You're conceding goals, I'll stop you conceding goals. And, you know, I'll get you to the next tournament. And every guy goes, that's exactly what we're talking about. You know,
you read my mind, Big Sam. Would you like another pint of wine, Big Sam?
So there's no chance of, like, I don't know. I just feel that there's no chance of getting someone in who goes, you know, I think you have good players here, and I think we can really, you know, start playing some good football here and turn some heads on the international stage. Because the players like who I do, like I say, I do rate the players like Troy Parrott and Adamida, and you know, Jeff Hendrick had a great game as well. But like these are all players who are not making their club teams.
Yeah.
So if you're a manager like that and you want to take on this job and you think I want to be reasonably successful at it or achieve some kind of goal that I say I will.
Yeah.
You know, what can you confidently say? Like, having watched a few games, you're thinking, yeah, those guys look good, but I don't know if they actually are good.
Yeah.
Like, if you're coming into that Serbia team, say the Serbia manager gets sacked after drawing to us, you'd look at the likes of Mitrovic and Dusan Tadic and go, yeah, those players are decent. There's goals in that team. There's creativity in that team. Yeah, I could go in there and say, yeah, I'll get you the Euros, and yeah, we'll play good stuff. When you look at us, you think, I don't know if I can say that.
Yeah.
So if you just have that type of manager, it's hard to see us attracting one. You know what I mean? So... I don't know. Do you give Kenny more time, or do you just say, "Look, fuck it, back to hoofball"?
I mean, I personally don't think there's any point in sacking him. Like, if you don't qualify from this, then surely give him the next one and then go. Because what's the point of sacking someone right at like there's nothing to play for when the World Cup is on. It's not like he's going to be playing important games. Then he gives them time to like, okay, I'll really give it a go now next time. But I don't know. I don't. If they don't qualify, I wonder will it be the end for him just because of, like I said, the media being like Brian Kerr was giving it to him on TV the other day, who is usually a pretty like positive, loves Irish football guy. So again, I could see that influencing just like the kind of person who just has the game on. So
yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, same as Liam Brady on RT as well. He was saying, I think Stephen Kelly, who always reminds you of like a kid at a game with his dad. Where he called comments like, and did you see that? He went over there, he kicked the ball really hard. I think it's great, but like, it's just funny. And he came he was doing the co-commentating, and then he came onto the main stage with like fucking Liam Brady. Like, he wouldn't even look at him as he was disagreeing with him. He was that grumpy. And Stephen Kelly was like, no, we had a good game. We played really well. It was a great game to watch. I had a great time. And Liam Brady was like, no, I disagree. We were getting battered out there. I was like, yeah, I mean, but like, look at their players, look at our players. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Look, like, they don't play regularly. Our players don't play regularly for their clubs.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, Stephen Kelly was like, that was good. Like, we almost won the game and we drew. That was good. And Liam Brady like, no, we didn't beat them. We didn't come close to beat them. It's like, yeah, but like, there is a reality to it too. It's like, and the media does kind of have a thing of like, oh, lads, like,
another loss. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we know that. Have you been watching for the last 10 years? Like, when have we ever been like going out there to win games, like confidently going like, yeah, we'll beat Serbia. We should beat them. It's like, why would you think that? Why, if you thought that before the game, like, if you thought like, oh, we'll do well to beat them here, we'll do well to compete, then after the game's like, oh, we didn't even compete. What are you disappointed about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
so I don't know what the media's angle is.
Even players like, say, Bazunu, who seems unreal. I can't imagine him ever playing for City. Like, I know he's a youth player there, but
I think he could. I mean, he's a lot younger than Ederson.
Ederson. But like, it's just
he played really well. Like,
like, I think he's savage, but I think it's just like even our best player in that last game. I mean, it's going to be years before.
Like right now.
Yeah, well, no, like I mean, it'll be a long, long time before he starts a game for City. I think because I think he's way down. Like I think he's kind of like at City the same way Sancho was, in that like he's a youth prospect, but like we have second and third options before him.
Yeah. Oh well. Speaking of which, we'll get into it a little bit. With the whole shit going on with the Brazilian FA, Ederson might not be allowed to play. Their second choice goalkeeper tested positive for COVID. So you know who the third choice keeper is? Scott Carson.
Play Bazunu.
No, he's on loan.
Oh fuck! I didn't know that.
The actual three keepers I have with the club, Scott Carson, the guy who he was like celebrating his full kit, hasn't played in years, makes $300,000 a year.
Oh no, that I always talk about how third choice keeper is the dream, but that is the nightmare scenario. It's like we need you starting at the weekend. Oh no!
It literally like any given Sunday where Stephen Willie Beeman is like the fifth choice quarterback, and they all get injured. And he's reading the newspaper like, Willie, we need you. I was like, what? Get out there! Oh shit! So Scott Carson is going on a diplomatic mission to Brazil as we speak. So he's have to play at the weekend, I'm pretty sure. Listen, I'm here today.
Even the full Brazil kit.
Out of his own pocket. He's got half his year's wages. He's going to be spent on this.
In solidarity with the Brazilian FA, I also will not play at the weekend.
That's his plan B, yeah. Well, this is the thing. It's like, any of those players before, any of those media people who are calling for his head saying that was a terrible performance, were they honestly thinking before that was going to be much better? And if they were, then what were they watching for the last while?
Exactly, yeah.
And
I do think there's a bit of lobbying sometimes as well from like the Irish media. Like sometimes I think boys like Brian Kerr, of course they'd talk up a manager, they'd want him gone. Because there's a good chance they get brought in as part of the staff and the next manager. Like, I always think that. Wasn't Brady involved with the Ireland team at some stage?
Yeah, well, that's everyone on Twitter was like, "Sorry, Brady, you were a friend of Trapattoni, so you have no opinion." I mean, other countries with more people to choose from, with more former greats to choose from, Brady would be gone years ago for his shameless defending of Trapattoni. That was hard to watch at times.
Yeah,
where he basically said the players were shite, so there's nothing else he could do, And then it was like, what do you think of that last game, Brady? Thought they were shy. He did that for years. So I don't know. I mean, look, we're still mathematically in the group.
That counts.
But it's a long shot now. It's not looking likely that we're going to get out of this. We'd have to have some results go our way. Let's just put it that way. And we have to actually win a game.
Yeah.
Another stat I heard, again, just on a final say on I can't believe how bad we are. A stat I heard is that we've beaten 4 teams in 5 years. Now that's not 4 wins. It's just we've beaten San Marino and the Faroe Islands a few times. But in terms of actually beating different teams, we've only beaten 4 different teams.
Christ. Well, I did see.
What's Stephen Kenny doing out there? It's it's so off. That's such a bad take.
I did see a comment on the highlights for the Ireland-Serbia game. I was watching before this just to remind myself. And the top comment was, "Congratulations to Milinkovic for becoming Ireland's top joint goal scorer in the qualifications."
Yeah. I mean, the goal was something to behold, really. That's what that hoofball gets you sometimes.
Panic, utter panic.
There's where they show the reaction shots of the players wheeling away afterwards.
Yeah,
and it's him just going "Oh, well, what did you want me to do?" It's a 2-second slow motion clip, but you can tell the entire conversation. He's like, "What did you want me to do?" And everyone's like, "Just don't do that! Don't kick it in your 2 yards away from your box. Look, you kick off your own man. What are you doing?" And then they show another version of Duffy ramming the pole, the Serbian defender ramming him, like that scene in Toy Story where they have Rex and they're ramming at the graze towards the ball and it flies in the own net. It's a great goal.
Yeah,
one of the Irish goals ever.
One of the best. Yeah, that reminded me of one we were robbed of. I can't remember who it was against. It might have been Greece or someone. I'm thinking for some reason. Or maybe, no, it was Georgia, where Walters scored a header by absolutely barreling through one of the defenders and it wasn't given. And he was like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, Duffy definitely was, knowing you're the ball and barreling with the man, using it as a human shield towards the ball. It was amazing.
That did remind me of, that saying where, because obviously the stadium it was weird because the stadium was fucking bouncing for a game we were getting hammered in, like we said. But that, that saying of where the stadium sucks the ball into the net.
Yeah.
It's just you couldn't stop it. There was nothing you could do.
Yeah, that ball was going in no matter what.
Yeah.
No, we could have won that game, but we didn't. And we have been unlucky in some games for sure. But lucky to results business, Will. What can you say?
Yeah.
There was some lots of other international games going around, of course, as well. No big surprises, really, if you watch the Euros, because Turkey, after 3 months ago, hammering the Dutch 4-2.
The game we based our whole knowledge of Turkey on, really. We were we're doing so well at the Euros.
And, what difference the Euros makes, I suppose.
Yeah.
They lost 6-1 in Louis van Gaal's second game in charge or third game in charge. He's back and he's pulling up trees there in the Netherlands. Memphis Depay got a hat-trick. He's I guess he's just very confident now that he's a Barcelona player. In his mind, he's at the club where he always meant to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't buy the story that when he was at Man United wearing cowboy hats and shit to training. I mean, this is where he's always pictured himself to be, and he's loving for it. He's living it. He's loving it. He's loving it. England were also playing Poland. Our Polish brothers, last time over here. They did a job on the English. 1-1. Did an absolute job on them. I think it was the 90th minute winner, 91st minute winner, 91st minute equaliser. But it felt like a win. Because the coward, Gareth Southgate, stuck with his team. Jack Grealish obviously makes the squad because he's a Man City player now, so he was in there along with Sterling, the other Man City player. And their tactic is what they did the Euros: get the ball, run at defenders,
fall
hit
over.
the deck, hit the fucking deck. There's definitely been a change in the rules. I don't know if the players were told about this, but like the soft freeze. And we were saying this before, like that it is easier to referee the game if you just like draw a line in the sand of if there's contact and they go down, give the benefit of the doubt to the attacker. So that way, you just know what the freer it wasn't because there was contact. And in theory, it's like, if you give the benefit of the doubt to the attacker, you have more attacking football. You encourage, attackers to run at the ball and score goals, and you discourage, 2-foot tackles or leg breakers.
In theory,
if you touch them, they go down.
In theory,
I guess that has seen the kind of the era of like some really great goals and really great attacking players, but like it does get to kind of a tipping point where like Greece is a very bad culprit for going down very easily, and like you think if he hadn't that ability, what would he have done? Where was he going besides that? What was his plan? Like, would he actually score any goals if he couldn't dive? And that's like, okay, well, that's kind of gone too far. Now it's just become a part of the game of going down. That's how you get your scores.
Well, you always
that's kind of
hear
where it goes too far.
The first stat you hear about Grealish is most fouled player in the league, which is like, what does that actually mean? Because I've seen him dive quite a lot. So
and
like you take that away. I think
the former most fouled player, the former holder of that statistic, was Eden Hazard, who he went down a bit like they all do. But you have seen Eden Hazard run length of pitch and score goals. Like, that if he wasn't touched or impeded with or contact made, he had the confidence to go around two more players and stick in the net. He did against Arsenal a couple of times. Like, he scored some great goals. We've never really seen Grealish do that. All we ever see is him going down. And Sterling, the same thing. I mean, there was one point there against Poland where there was a breakaway, and because he's so fast, he kind of left everyone behind him, including his English players. So he was, ran into kind of three players around him. So there's no reason for the Polish players to foul him here. So why would they foul him? So, of course, but he was fouled because Sterling goes flying, hits the deck. The Polish people are like, no, like, why would we do that? And the ref goes, why would you do that? And they play on. And it was like, but those ones would have been given before. Because they would be like, well, look, Sterling got the ball and ran at them, so therefore he almost deserves a free, That wasn't happening in Poland last night. There was a huge crowd. I don't think I saw a mask. I don't know what the situation is in terms of their vaccine rollout or whatever, but they seem to be right back to it. But nonetheless, all the kind of tough tackling and lack of frees given to England, Harry Kane spotted that they had Wojciech Szczesny in goal. I said, "Oh, wait a minute!
I remember him
going to kick it near the side, and it's probably going to fucking go in." He took it from like maybe 40 yards out, and he kind of swerved. Like, sorry, Szczesny, the ball swerved a bit for you. You've been a goalie for years, but the ball swerved a bit. It wasn't even probably in the corner. I mean, Roy Keane's on ITV, and I agree. He said our top class keeper saved that. So they had the lead. Like I say, I think I mentioned there, I never got into it. The coward, Gareth Southgate, used no subs. He used no subs. They went 1-0 up. That was like the 72nd minute, I think it was, or maybe a bit earlier. If you're Pep Guardiola watching Grealish and Sterling, and look, I'll give them their credit. They're not soft. They didn't go out of it. It's like they were getting the ball and running at players and trying to make things happen and trying different things. Like Sterling kind of overcooked it a little bit sometimes because he knew he couldn't go down and get a free, so he had to try and do something different. But they played the entire 90 minutes, like probably ran off their feet, just trying to get the ball and run at the Polish defence. And if you're Pep thinking, all right, you got the goal now, take it off. Like put on Lingard, put on Bamford, put on Bellingham. Like there's so many options on the bench. Didn't put on a single sub. Poland put on 5 subs.
Yeah, I mean, this happened a few times last season in big games, and it never worked out for the team that didn't make the subs. Like it's always the same.
I think it was the first time, like since the 60s, that they hadn't used a sub in a World Cup qualifying match. Now, a bit of an obscure stat, I'll admit, but still, it was a tough game.
Yeah.
Like Poland really pressed them hard. They really had to work hard to get kind of into attacking positions, and it was Sterling and Grealish the whole time, and he just didn't put anybody on. And eventually, Lewandowski, who is amazing. I mean, anybody watching that game, like it was kind of like, oh, Kane scored and Lewandowski got the assist. Like Lewandowski is so much better player than Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Like Harry Kane is a very good player. I'm not saying he's a bad player. It's all relative, but like just the way that Lewandowski was getting the ball and doing it all, like going by players, winning tackles, creating chances. Like Kane was just dropping deep and just kind of being in the wrong positions. Yes, he scored the goal because Szczesny should have fucking saved it.
Yeah.
But like, Lewandowski was excellent for them. But they lost on the line, I think. If they brought on a few fresh legs, like Jordan Henderson was on the bench.
Yeah.
Phillips and Rice the whole game, like making tackles. Like it was insane to watch. Now look, they dropped 2 points. There are no real danger in that group. But I don't know. I think that team is that final appearance will be all they ever achieve. I'm calling right now. I don't think that team or Gareth Southgate is going to win anything.
Well, you're not going to get fucking 10 games in your home stadium again. They're all going to be in Saudi Arabia and Qatar and stuff now. That's done.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think with that, then the Premier League is back this weekend, and also the Champions League is back the weekend after, or next week, isn't it? The group stages kick off
Wednesdays and Thursdays, I believe.
But, and we mentioned it before, some players will not be playing this weekend, or maybe they will, or maybe they won't. We don't know. It was one of those things that we didn't mention because we were kind of, really looking at that Irish game, really trying to, get to the bottom of the Portugal, the Algarve screw job, whatever it was. But there was some nonsense there at the start of the week. There, Argentina and Brazil played a game.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't play a game. They were scheduled to play a World Cup qualifying game, and some kind of confusion over quarantine rules.
Yeah.
The story goes is that the Argentinian players, Lo Celso, Martinez, who else? The Premier League players, Argentinian players.
Romero.
A lot of they were under the impression that they had a special sports person immunity from the virus. So they didn't have to quarantine for as long as normal plebs.
And there was a thing as well where, like, I think any country that was on a red list, the Premier League would not let players go. But the Argentina players said, fuck you, we're going anyway. Because it's like, I'd imagine it's because, like, you don't have much chances left to play with Messi at international level, and assume the thing. So they're like, we're not fucking sticking around to train with Tottenham. I'm going to go play with Messi at the weekend. So,
it wasn't the Premier League. It was certain Premier League clubs didn't release players. But whatever it was, they felt that they didn't have to quarantine as long.
Yeah. And
they said, fuck it, we're going to play and we're going to do whatever. Which you think, all right, well, sure, that's discussed, or like you get to the bottom of that, before you go. But they didn't. So maybe the Argentinians were right. And they go out and they line out in the game. I think it's like maybe 5 minutes in or so. And just like some officials coming on the pitch, some Brazilian officials come on the pitch, and some guy in jeans and like a polo shirt, like a small kind of a stout man, comes on. And you can't see because the mask and stuff, but he must be talking mad shit because one of the Argentinian players, I think Paredes or something, like pushed and says, fuck off, man. Will you just fuck off? And then the other Argentinian players run in, a load of officials run in as well. Like it's chaos. It's like there's going to be a scrap here over like, the Brazilian authorities are now coming in the middle of the game to say, you're under arrest. You're wanted criminals for breaking quarantine. And Messi afterwards said, we've been here for 3 days. Why didn't you tell us before that? What is this kind of theatrical arresting of Argentinian players? Like, you knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
If we were incorrect or wrong or mistaken, why wait till now?
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I'm assuming the Brazilians and Argentinians, they have a rivalry in football. Maybe they hate each other as well. I don't think we would have done that to England, though, would we? I mean, that seems very petty to wait to catch them on the pitch and then arrest those men.
I know. I don't think we would, but I think if the opportunity arose and it happened, we would love it. That would be amazing. Imagine
if the opportunity arose, but if we were waiting for 3 hours, wait till you're on the pitch. Get the boys, get the men in right gear.
Oh, you glad
your buttons to spin.
All right, Rice and Grealish. If only you were on the other team. We have no quarantine rules.
So it was really weird scenes, and the game was called off. It was postponed. The Argentines walked off the pitch, and the game didn't go on. But now, this is why I think that it was a kind of petty act by Brazil, because the Brazilian FA have asked FIFA that all the Brazilian players who didn't come to the game that didn't even happen, that they should be not allowed to play the weekend for choosing club over country.
But I mean, why?
Just because. And again, if our reporting of this story hasn't convinced you enough, one player who they haven't requested to not be able to play is Richarlison, because he played Olympics for them, so he's fine. Yeah, we got no problem with him.
Yeah, look, we got no beef with you, Everton. This is about you, Fred.
Yeah, Fred, Ederson, Alisson, which also means Gallagher could play for Liverpool, which we'll maybe have the worst thing in the world here now. If that 2 goalie rule goes through, if Stephen Kenny gets on that,
come on.
So yeah, there's a few like Rafinha as well. I'm pretty sure didn't go. I don't know. Was he even called up? I don't know. Brazilian people in England not allowed to go to work because they didn't play for Brazil the weekend. But what do you mean? I'm an accountant. You neglected your country. I don't know. So it's totally bizarre. I haven't heard what FIFA said. Have FIFA been like, oh yeah, we'll do that? Or are they going, are these boys serious? Are they going to like?
I think there's it's like a big battle now, because it's like, well, who do we piss off? Do we piss off the Brazilian FA, who all the Brazilian players probably fucking love, or do we piss off the Premier League, who last year were about to bounce because you aren't paying them enough? So
yeah.
And I don't know if did you see Spurs fined the Lo Celso and Romero for leaving?
Oh yeah.
And apparently they're like training in Croatia, like they're training somewhere where there's no quarantine rules now. But the whole thing is just like, well, like, what is the point? If you're just going to be like finding all the loopholes and stuff, then who gives a shit about the quarantine?
Yeah, it's I really don't know. And then like you add in like some of the players going, no, I'm not getting vaccinated. Fuck that. Like, oh man, not even more risk.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see how that pans out this week in the Premier League. If they play, if they don't, I imagine they will. Though, if I had to guess, I'd say they will. But who knows?
You know what you've done there is confirm they're absolutely not playing.
You heard it here first. Yeah, was there anything else then you want to touch on, Will?
No, I think that was mainly it. It was mostly just Ireland, to be honest. And
yeah, like you say,
whenever it's an international break, that's all I really care about. Everything else, I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, if you have been sick up of the international break and you don't care that much, next week we'll be back. We'll be back on Premier League and Champions League. So 2 episodes next week.
Yeah. And
right
then
back to the good old days, boys.
Back to Ireland. I think it's the week after.
Yeah. I think we're playing Qatar, which is
the friendly,
the challenge game, because they're in our group, but because we're hosts, they don't have to actually qualify. So we drew with them the last time. Next time, we'll. But listen, we're trying to get people back. Trying to get people back and listen. So we can't talk about Ireland anymore, okay? Because no one wants to hear about that apparently. When we talk about Ronaldo and Arteta and all that fun stuff again next week. So yeah, that's about it, I'd say. I suppose the same thing I said last week. Follow us on all the socials. Follow us on Spotify, Deezer, Castbox,
Pod Addict,
web browser. Just going through the stats here, trying to find out what people listen to us on.
Chromecast,
Smart Brush.
If you listen to us on your Oral-B Smart Brush and have us talking directly into your mouth, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Send us an email at nononsenspodcast at gmail.com. Yes, let's quick check the mail there, will see, maybe just okay. No, nothing yet. Well, hang on, I'll just check the spam.
Check the spam folder.
No, nothing. Promotions, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah.
Trying to buy an Oral-B Smart Brush? Get 20% off here. This podcast, bad ones.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?